Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ambassadors from throughout the world. It is an honor to be before you today and to serve you with the gifts and talents that God has given me. And so I want to be held accountable to my word. So let me say, I want to be able to do one of these every day for you. I'm going to call it the Inspiration Station. Doesn't that sound good? The Inspiration Station. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, "Give us this day our daily bread." You know what that means? That means there isn't a day that goes by that God doesn't wake up early in the morning and bakes fresh bread for you and I. Now, I don't know about you, but I love raisin bread. And the smell of raisin bread being baked in the morning is something to have me get out of bed. And so I want to be able to give you my fresh bread, my inspiration, my gifts and my talents. And let this be the inception of it on this day. We just have a couple weeks left before the year has ended to start 2024. Can you imagine that? 2024. And my message is going to be the same, guys. Sons of God, arise. Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1. For the light of God is upon you, it is risen upon you. And so, how are you letting your light shine today for those individuals that you know that you can influence and have impact in their life? He did say one shall chase 1,000. So you got no excuse. You should be able to touch and connect with at least 1,000 people all by yourself. Now, just imagine if you come together with Powerful Steve, the king of inspiration, and Mama Ida, and Mama Yvonne, and Mama June, and Pastor Apostle Powell, and Pastor Sunday, and so many other people on this call, on this platform. When we all start to exercise our gifts and talents, how we will come together that our hearts might be knit together in love. We got a task ahead of us, guys, and that's to touch 8 billion plus one people. That's what I'm saying to you guys. The plus one is for those that are not yet born. Yes. We are the light of the world and we are the salt of the earth. And it starts now within each and every one of us. Let the revival begin in you now. Can you share this with somebody? Can you make a comment? Can you like this video? Can you subscribe? I got 1 billion people to touch, guys, and I need your help. So after you've been inspired by this, I challenge you to share it with 10 people and challenge them to share it with 10 people. We have these crazy challenges out there that people take ice cold water and dump it on their head and videotape it. Some people died. The bucket fell and hit somebody and cracked their neck. The crazy things we do. But here is something that you can actually share that can actually bring life into somebody's soul. So I ask you to share. So my inspiration station to you, it's actually a true story, and I hope that you are blessed by it. I was driving in my car one day, and I had 3 of my children in the back seat. I actually have 8 children. One is in heaven and 7 is on the earth here. And 3 of my children were in the back seat, and I had my niece sitting beside me. That's Kiana. And as we drove through the intersection of Dixie and Howden, my mouth opened and said, "How do you build a masterpiece?" Now, the interesting thing is, I wasn't talking. Yes, God opened my mouth and asked me a question. You see, when I pray, I tell God to take my hands, and I tell God to take my feet, and I tell God to take my tongue. The word says that your tongue is your most unruly member. So just think about it for a second. If you can submit your most unruly member to God, which is your tongue, how much more will the rest of you submit as well? So little did I know that God was going to take me up on it. He opened my mouth and asked me a question. How do you build a masterpiece? Now, my niece sitting beside me, she thought I was asking her a question. So she turned and she said, how do you build a masterpiece? I then realized that I'm not alone. I need to answer for me and also for my niece sitting beside me. So within myself, I asked God the question, Lord, how do you build a masterpiece? And then he opened my mouth again and said this, you go to the master that has all the pieces. You go to the master that has all the pieces. I found myself meditating on that thought for 2 weeks. It satisfied my niece, the answer, but I wasn't satisfied. And I saw a vision. God gave me a vision, and this is what I want to share with you today. I want you to visualize yourself right now standing with 4 other people, and you're standing shoulder to shoulder, and then you take your hands and you link at the elbows. You're not holding hands. You link at the elbows. What am I trying to tell you? What I'm trying to tell you is God is saying to you that you are a masterpiece. Each and every one of you on this call right now. Rosemary, you are a masterpiece. Navita, Faith, you are a masterpiece. Esther, you are a masterpiece. Errol, Mama June, Yvonne, you are a masterpiece. Akwazi, you are a masterpiece. But when you link with somebody else, you become another masterpiece. And so in order for us to link together, we got to go to the master of all the pieces. Do you see it now? We are all connected. All 8 billion plus 1. We are all connected. Are we willing to take the time to go through the bumps and the bruises in order to endeavor to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace, that our hearts might be knit together in love? For no greater love than this, that a man will lay down his life for a friend. When they step on your toes, can you look up to heaven like Stephen looked up and say, forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do? Do you have the capacity to forgive your brother 70 times 7 in one day? Harden not your heart. In the book of Ezekiel, chapter 36, verse 26, he says, I will take away the stone that is in your heart, and I will give you a heart of flesh. God is trying to get you to a place of healing and deliverance. We have so much unforgiveness in our heart, we don't even realize that it's killing us slowly. Why do you think you have heart attacks and strokes? It's because of the unforgiveness in your heart. Let it go and just let God. He is the potter and we are the clay. That makes us a masterpiece. But in order to be built, you got to allow the master to put the pieces together. I'm Powerful Steve, the king of inspiration. And remember, aim high, spread wings, fly.